Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you. We're live in downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Man, we are loaded over the next 3 hours here on a Wednesday. On the program today, Stanford Steve, ESPN, college football semifinals in 30 minutes. A full half an hour with Vito's son. How does that sound? Sal Palantonio to get you set for the playoffs. Also, coaching openings across the league. Mike Palm, You Cannot Be Serious later on. Ryan Clinton, Booby Prize winner. Circa Millions coming up later on in the show. They hit 27% ATS this year to win $100,000. And Matt Euman's best bets, college and the NFL. We also have look-ahead lines, hypothetical matchups we're going to get to here in this segment. For the divisional round of the NFL, John Harbaugh is now between minus 175 and minus 250 to be the next head coach of the New York Giants.
The Moose had an idea. Incredible. They're all in for Harbaugh. This is phenomenal. Minus 250.
He was 3.1% at Kelce yesterday at 11 a.m. 3.1%. And then whacked. Giants job is open. Bam, here you go. Now, they're not going to hire anybody until, like, this guy makes up his mind, right? Like, this has to be target number one for the Giants?
Oh, no doubt.
No question about that.
As a Super Bowl. Yep.
Stefanski 3-1. Big Mike McCarthy 6-1. You can also bet, I found this offshore, where will Harbaugh coach next? Giants again at minus 175. Raiders 5-1. Browns 6-1. Atlanta 8-1. I also wanted to ask you this question. I kind of hinted at this yesterday with all of the playoff failures and how loaded this team has been. Our head honcho here, Steve Cohen, brought this up earlier today off the air. Good point. That Trevor Lawrence is right this year because he finally has a coach that is pulling this out of him, and that is Liam Cohen doing what Doug Peterson could not do. I'm wondering if John Harbaugh's got a little Doug Peterson or if he's got a little Big Mike McCarthy in him.
Nah, his regular season record's too good.
Well, Mike McCarthy was an 11-win winner, game winner every single year.
He was living off of one guy, though.
But people thought he was a good coach.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, they did?
Well,
I remember
you can't
this.
count Bradshaw. He doesn't know what day it is.
No, but it wasn't just him. I heard this all the time, especially from like Green Bay people. It's not all Rodgers. McCarthy knows what he's doing. I'm like, are you out of your minds?
The Ryan Clark thing was the ultimate in him getting exposed. They were running the same plays, and it was the same offense, and he could call it out when he was with the Steelers, and then when he's working for ESPN. Nothing had changed, he said.
My point overall is...
Guy's getting a massage. They missed the meeting the one time.
Yeah. Does John Harbaugh get too much credit based on the organization he's been with and having awesome rosters like every single year? McCarthy got credit. I remember this. And I got pissed off in arguments with people like, what are you watching? The guy stinks. And the other one would be Doug Peterson. Look at what happened after he left Philadelphia. And now 1 year gone, and you bring in Liam Cohen, and all of a sudden Jacksonville wins 13 games, and Lawrence is playing by far and away the best football. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Sometimes these guys can check out. You know, they get up there in age. Maybe they don't put the work in. They don't have the fire as much. Go back to McCarthy, getting massages, missing meetings, and all that.
And then how about this? He told Jerry Jones that he went to his barn, and he and his group of friends watched games and studied them and broke them down analytically like every single week and would rewatch them. And then he was asked about that again after he got the job. He goes, I was probably lying about that.
Yeah. He's laughing. Absolutely. I know.
Incredible.
Miami reached out, too, according to reports.
So that's the one non-opening.
There you go.
Right?
That's right. About you have to change and look at everything now. And maybe Harbaugh, if I'm Harbaugh, I take my time. You know, what does Tampa Bay do? Does Miami make a change? And what happens if the Packers don't look good Saturday?
I would also say I would tie in Buffalo.
That's good.
Right?
That is good.
And because, man, that's I think the job that the Giants would have to fear the most. If the Bills are one and done this year, do they actually say, yeah, Sean, man, it's been kind of real, but bye-bye. And then Harbaugh's available, and I think that job to work with Josh Allen would clearly become the best job on the market. Mm-hmm. Well, that and the Ravens. Ravens also a really good job, too.
It appears Minter's going to the Ravens, too, where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, he's plus 150, and the Flores rumors coming out here, too, to Las Vegas, which I think everyone agrees if they land Flores and get Dable, that's a home run. Brady.
You mentioned somebody who you would like to go coach Atlanta yesterday. Was that Harbaugh or was that Stefanski?
No, I don't want Stefan. I don't like him.
Okay.
I'd go Harbaugh. Yeah.
Stefanski's 2-1 in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Followed by Kubiak at 3-1.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Kubiak there.
Kubiak, give him a shot?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Big question is, like you said, though, what are they going to do at quarterback?
Oh, that might be one of the biggest unknowns that we have.
Mm-hmm. His Hafley, he's lost some steam. They had some bad defensive performances.
They did.
Everyone watched what Henry did to him.
That's true. Also, but you can't forget how many injuries they've had, though, too. That side of the ball. There's been a lot. What do you have? I'm going in fresh here.
Yeah, baby.
I purposely did not look. I want to react live on the air. You have hypothetical
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Hypothetical matchups in the divisional round.
Seattle at home to the Niners.
Okay, game that we just saw. And did they not close 2.5 in that game?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. So they're...
You know what to make it then.
Oh, they're 5.5.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
46.5 the total.
Ooh,
that could be a touch high. Broncos, 1.5 at home to the Texans. 39.5 the total.
Oh, man.
Great article today, ESPN.com from Solak, about how these are three great defenses. Houston, Denver, and Seattle. But in the last couple of weeks, they've had some really bad moments.
Okay, that's fair.
But I do think this total's too high if we get that matchup.
I don't disagree. That was my first takeaway is what's the total in that game?
Uh-huh.
And would you also look at teasing the Texans up to getting 7.5? In what would it be expected to be a low-scoring game? Defenses dominate, maybe some kickers get involved here. Our guy Fairbairn.
Yeah, and those guys Denver takes up a lot of clock on these drives, too.
That's right, and they play to their level of competition. I would tease the Texans up to 7.5.
In a rematch, they'd be 3 at home to the Chargers. 41.5 the total.
Okay, so that means the Chargers would go to New England and win the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, they did play that game earlier in the year in L.A. That was down to the wire. Broncos probably should have won the game. I think you got to make them 3.
Seattle, 1.5 at home to the Rams. 47.5 the total. Excellent chance we get that game. Whoa. In the 38-37 Classic.
What do you want to do?
Let me see what the Rams look Saturday, especially on defense. Rams, 1.5 at Philly. At Philly.
Oh, give me
45.5 the total.
There's my my second dance partner.
Uh-huh.
Give me the Eagles on a teaser plus 7.5, along with the Texans plus 7.5 next weekend.
Right.
Would you like? I told you the Rams would be favored here, but should they be? Again, it depends on how the wild card round will look.
This is a surprise to me. Eagles 2.5 at Chicago. Bears ran all over them in that meeting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's about matchups at this point of the year.
Yeah, that was a great job by Ben Johnson.
And I'm not again, this will be based on what the Eagles look like, because if they win a low-scoring game against the 49ers and the offense doesn't do much against that defense, I would not have a lot of faith in that team going to Chicago and winning it.
Yep. Here's your big boy. Bills, 1.5 at Denver.
Bills, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Denver was 3 against Jacksonville, but still, to be the 1 seed.
Right. So
Buffalo would be favored at Jacksonville and at Denver.
Right. And that would mean, obviously, that Buffalo would go to Jacksonville right now and win the game. Sight unseen. Don't know how that would play out. But with that assumption, yeah, they have to be favored, at least small, at Denver. And I think I would like Buffalo. I actually, here's the funny thing. I don't like Buffalo this weekend. But if they win the game, I'm pretty convinced I'm going to bet them against Denver.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Round 3, Jags-Texans. First 2 games came down to the wire. Jags 2.5, 43.5.
That's the exact number.
Uh-huh.
I don't think, because if you make it 3, it's gonna be a ping pong match, right? Sharp money will be on Houston the entire time, and then go back and forth.
Patriots 1.5 at home to Houston. 44.5 the total.
Sign me up for that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really fantastic game. Again, I can only look one way in Houston games. Under originally, and then teasing whoever the dog is, and in this case, it would be them again. So
the Packers have averaged 31 a game in the last 8 road starts for Jordan Love. Joe Osborne had that. So they beat the Bears. Do they score? And then they go to Seattle. Seattle 4.5. 46 against the Pack.
I think Green Bay can go there and win. So I'd be looking at the points.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think Green Bay can win the Super Bowl. but I think they can absolutely win one game, maybe two games, and that's probably going to be about it before the injuries catch up with them.
Patriots 2.5 at home to Jacksonville. 50.5 the total. I know you want the Jags there.
I probably do want Jacksonville there, yeah. Especially if it's on 3.
Yeah.
Give me them. Boy, that would be a great game again.
Give me this matchup. One more. Rams 4.5 at the Bears. 51.5 the total.
Well, that might be the best game of the whole second weekend if we can get that matchup. Oh, man, 4.5. I got to take the Bears.
Weather's big, too.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, weather could impact a lot of these games moving forward.
Would you?
Great job. DraftKings has all those up.
Would you look at Chicago there, too?
Yes.
Plus 4.5?
Yes.
I think you'd have to.
Yeah. How the Rams have struggled defensively?
I thought you were going to say like 3 with that game.
Yeah, that's a big boy. Rams have scored 30-plus points 10 times. Last road playoff win 2021. Special teams cost them 3 games.
Yes. Yep, true.
This is interesting. Jacksonville, 3rd in pressures, quarterback pressures, 27th in sacks. That is nuts.
But people say that pressures mean more than the actual sack.
Can't finish, though.
Sack is like a misleading number, people say.
Denver's got 68 of them. But they have a ton of 3-and-outs on offense going back.
All right, we have officially gone overboard in college football. The breaking point, I believe, was last night. We'll run this down and some incredible audio on what could happen with one of the best quarterbacks in college football and potentially in the draft next year.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly, I really feel like at this point, historians are going to look back on this small window, and I say small because I hope that's what it ends up being, small window of time in college football that was absolutely off the rails, and just laugh at it and throw their hands up and say, how in the hell was this stuff allowed? Again, they have some guidelines in place, but there are basically no rules, and we're still obviously in the very early stages of this, but it is the wild, wild west with the transfer portal. And I think last night what happened, and I saw the breaking news, I happened to be on X when it broke, and that is Washington quarterback Damon Williams decided that he is going to transfer. Looks like it's going to be LSU. And this is only a couple of days after he signed a contract with Washington to return. And
Dirty.
Very dirty.
Tough, but as Crystal Ball said today, blame the adults in charge. How they've handled things here with the calendar and how this has worked out.
Absolutely, the whole thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's absurd. Yeah. So I reached out, and I've said this story on the show before. I have a close friend, buddy Chad, an alum of Washington, and I've been to games with him several times up in Seattle. I would go. You got to go up there sometime for a college game. It's amazing. Here at the Pac-12 title game. So he's had season tickets for like 20 years, and he just was like, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!" When I sent him the breaking news last night. And he was doing some math on it. He found out originally that the deal was about $5 million. And then the news came out today, and this is from Ross Dellinger, that it was going to be a revenue share for a one-year deal that was worth about $4 million. And who knows, maybe more money was involved to bump it up to like $5 million. And then the report comes out that he was going to get $6 million from LSU. Do a little digging on that. Well, there's no state taxes in Washington. Louisiana's state tax, roughly about 4.25%. So if he gets $6 million from LSU, on a $5 million contract, that's like a $800,000 difference on that. And he completely left this program high and dry because when he signs the deal to re-up, I can't believe we're having this conversation like it, right? Yeah. They're like, okay, we're good to go. We're not gonna pursue anybody else. We're not gonna recruit anybody else. We're not gonna go to the portal and find out if the quarterback might be available. We have our guy, and he's just sticking it to him now. So he did not.
He's got a do not contact tag. Now,
in the portal. Like he made up his mind where he's going to go.
Yeah, days after what he did. This reminds me of Nico. But worse because of the timing here, because the timing sucks. because there's nobody left.
Right.
And Washington thought they had their quarterback because he had an agreement. But as Dan Wetzel pointed out from ESPN, you just got to have the deal in place where it says you're an employee now. You can't. I mean, you're an employee of Washington.
That's exactly
now.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So this was in The Athletic last night. Washington has no intention of releasing Williams from his contract that he signed on January 2nd. Williams had not filed any paperwork with Washington compliance officers to have his name entered into the portal before making his announcement on social media. So Washington is prepared to pursue legal action to enforce the terms of the contract, according to a person briefed on the situation. That was last night. Today, Andy Staples wrote this on 3 Sports. Like, could Washington actually be in the right? He pointed out that the Huskies might have a valid argument at this point that it would be severely damaged by his departure. The only quarterback currently in the transfer portal with a similar resume is former Arizona State quarterback Sam Levitt, who is scheduled to visit Tennessee on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Plus, Washington's coaching staff had not prepared to find a new starting quarterback because they thought they had a deal in place with this guy. So he goes on and on and on to talk about that, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And he also pointed out some of the other guys who already decided to go elsewhere, and that would be Brennan Sorsby from Cincinnati to Texas Tech, and then Jason Hoover, who's going to continue playing, but at Indiana. Maybe Washington could have had a chance at grabbing one of those guys. I think they might have something here. But how can...
So you can't do this.
No.
You can't have an agreement, and then some school comes in over the top. Oh, they're offering you 5? How about 6? Or no, okay, LSU says 6. Miami says we'll go to 7. Whatever.
Sure.
And the beat goes on. This can't happen.
Oh, and you forget about like having a gentleman's agreement. Oh, you signed him for $5 million or $4 million, whatever it is, with a revenue share. Well, that doesn't sound good enough to us. We can match. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And to your point, so if LSU said we're going to give you 6, he agrees to go there. Well, what if Wisconsin came in or another team said, well, you know what, we want him. What about $10 million? And he goes, yeah, I'll play in Wisconsin for $10 million. Mm-hmm. And then LSU's going to be screwed.
This is the great timing. Darren Ravel yesterday put up a poll on X. Given the huge change, now that you can pay players, where do you think the quality of college football is 5 years from now? Greater than ever, 13%. Just as good as today, 20%. Disconnected, strange, 66%.
Oh,
Then this happened.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's exactly how...
Mercenaries now.
Oh, no question.
Hired guns.
Yeah. Impossible to track.
It's like the Troy Aikman thing. It's like, I go to... He didn't say his name, but we know who it was. He donates money, NIL, UCLA, to get... And then more leaves.
More left, yeah.
And that's like, what? That's not... He's not a Bruin for 4 years or for 3 years. It's only... I give all that money. It's 1 year. I don't even get a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy takes off and goes to Oregon?
That's it. Yeah, I know. Never got a thank you. And Aikman went out of his way to actually bring that point up as well. I will say this. If Williams does actually land at LSU, well, his number will not be high enough, but he's the guy that you want to win the Heisman Trophy next year. With Lane Kiffin?
I like Hoover.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
number,
but if the number was right, I would absolutely look at this guy at LSU. He had 30, let me see here.
Well, Kiffin's got a hell of a schedule he's got to face. I would back Signetti and Hoover. I just trust his track record and best coach going.
Sure. I don't disagree. My overall point is that this guy is a very lethal dual threat quarterback. Last year in Washington, 25 passes in the air, 3,000 yards passing, along with 600 yards on the ground and 6 touchdowns overall. Plus, he'll be in the limelight of playing with LSU in all those national televised games in the SEC. I'm glad you brought up Dante Moore because he gets to take on the Heisman Trophy winner and the $5 favorite to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Moore is the second choice to go number 1 overall at around plus 450. Get a load of this. Todd McShay, draft pundit, has been doing it for many, many years, brought up a possible, and I'm going to call this realistic angle to consider for Dante Moore to consider at the end of this season.
Would you or would you not, as the representation or the representative, the rep for Dante Moore, kind of reach out to the Raiders and say, hey, my client's trying to make a decision. We can live with going to 30 of the 32 teams. Maybe it's 31. I can't allow him to go to the New York Jets. And I realize in 2027, maybe he's the 7th pick or the 5th pick, or maybe he's the first overall pick and the Jets have all that ammo and they can get him there. But I can't allow him to he's got an opportunity to go back to Oregon, probably make the same amount of money that he's going to make in his rookie contract. Phil Knight will make that happen. So I can allow my client to go back to Oregon and have another season with a new offensive coordinator because Will Stein's going to Kentucky, or you can pretty much promise me that he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Is that so far-fetched? Because I know
it's not. But
not one single player in this entire draft, unless they grew up a Jets fan or have some kind of family tie, wants to be a New York Jet.
How about that? Todd McShay's podcast.
Come on. Well, like the Raiders are this great organization? We don't even know who the coach is
No,
yet.
I understand that.
But I know how bad it is bringing Glenn back and what they went through. We can just sit here and go through your favorite Jet stat. No interceptions, 5 in a row to close, 23+. Wilson led the team in receiving yards and missed half the season, whatever.
Well, so a ton of takeaways on that. Number one, I think the reason why he would go to the Raiders is because it would be the prestige of being the number 1 overall pick. There's a difference between posterity's sake, like being number 1 and being number 2 or number 5 or whatever it is. Also, that is a good angle that Phil Knight will absolutely match whatever he's going to make on his rookie contract. Every big school in the country can do that nowadays, right? If the guy's good enough, like if Texas really wanted, if March Manning was saying I'm going to go pro, Texas said, here's $12 million. But yeah, sure. I wanted to stay here anyway. I was just joking around. And the other one would be on the flip side. I get it. The Jets are absolutely bottom of the barrel right now, but don't we say that every year about a similar team? Like, haven't we had the same thought with a quarterback coming out? Like, hey, does he ever want to go? Why would he want to go play for the Browns?
It depends who the coach is going to be, and you can turn it around right away with a good quarterback. Think about how bad Houston was before Stroud. You had the Watson mess, everything they were going through. The Cal had some issues. The owner of the Texans, McNair, had some issues. And then they go from a laughing stock. They get Ryans, they get Stroud, and they go to the playoffs and win a playoff game before losing in Baltimore. But I think that's a little aggressive there.
It'd be fascinating if it would play out like that. You can always tweet the show at VSiN Live and Mitch Moss Radio at Pauly Howard. This is from Matteo on X, the kid from Washington. Huskies say no, you're not going. He can hold out like the NFL. Then we're looking at trades in college. LMAO. Can we get to the point of where we could eventually have a trade happen, potentially? Fine.
What's the compensation?
I know you're going to
give up.
Yeah, you're going to give him. Like if Washington said no, we're not going to let him out of his contract. But LSU signed him to a $6 million deal. Fine, we'll let him out of the contract. But here's what we want: we want $3 million in return, and we want your starting linebacker.
Yeah, come on, now, guys, let's go. Like Dan Lanning said, the season has to end early January.
I completely agree with him.
No, this is the calendar sucks.
Yes, it does. What a time to be alive. What adjustments must the Oregon Ducks make the second time around against Indiana to have more success? We will ask Stanford Steve from ESPN next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time now to head out to the Progressive Guest Line, all the way to Glendale, Arizona, site of tomorrow night's college football semifinal matchup between Miami, a 3.5-point favorite, against Ole Miss, as Stanford Steve is live at the stadium and on the field as he joins the program a day before the game. Man, this is that looks awesome. How you doing, pal?
We're great. We are great, guys. We're in it, man. We are in it. You want primetime football. What do we got? Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and I'll be in Pittsburgh Monday night with Scott for Bad Beats after Steelers Texans, which would be awesome.
Wow, so you're going to go. You're going to be at the game tomorrow night in Phoenix, Glendale. Then you're flying to Atlanta for the game on Friday, and then are you going to any game Saturday or Sunday, or just taking a couple of days off?
I'm going to try and get home and lay on the couch Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
Scott and I will work Sunday night, do Sports Center after that night. What's the Sunday night game?
Patriots,
yeah.
Oh, Patriots, yeah. We'll be on after that, and then we'll fly to Pittsburgh Monday for Sports Center after Steelers Texans.
Boy, dude, that's a hell of a weekend. By the way, quietly turning into like top 2, top 3 weekends out of the entire year for sports, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you like ball, God bless how you feel. Take off Tuesday because you're going to need it. These are some late nights, but
it's gonna.
What do you guys think about the NFL schedule? I just wondered why they continue to put all the cold weather games at night. I think that's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, I could see that. Also, you have 6 outdoor games this weekend, too. So what are you going to do,
Yeah. I just thought Jacksonville would be a different setup as a night game. You're in Florida. Get New England or Chicago at, Sunday, 1 o'clock. I don't know. Just me kicking around ideas.
Okay. We'll get to NFL in a second. So how about the game tomorrow night? Yeah. Miami now up to a 3.5-point favorite the way it looks across the screen against Mississippi. The total is about 52.5. Any strong opinion here on this game?
I still lean towards Mitch, Miami. When you look at what they've done, and they have absolutely perfected shrinking the game, right? Yes. They go up 14-0 against Ohio State, and going back and watching it, Ohio State's really, really pressed because you don't know how many possessions you're going to get back. They missed the field goal before the half. I thought that was huge, just to get something on the board and cut in a deficit. You come out, you cut it to 7, you come out and you give up 1. The field goal, that was a big field goal for Miami just because of being at A&M and seeing how bad they struggled in the kicking game. I thought that was a monster field goal they got there to go back up 2 possessions. And then, we talked all year about this historical aspect of Ohio State's defense, and I thought it really hurt their image, giving up that 10-play, 5-minute drive where Miami scored at the end. You got to get off the field there if you're a pronounced defense. The one question I had about Ohio State all year was the lack of NFL superstar talent on the defensive line. Like when you think about their great teams, it was Bosa, both Bosas, Chase Young, different guys. They didn't have that guy this year, and they couldn't get off the field, and that cost them. But it goes to Miami. The way they've played, Beck has 241 yards passing in 2 games. And probably the best games of his career because he hasn't turned it over. He has 1 pass play over 20 yards. And these are the 2 biggest wins, say, in 20 years of the program. So how they've done it, just manifested stuff up front. Fletcher has been unbelievable. He's shown a dependability in that second half at A&M where it said, he went over the sidelines, give me the ball, and they showed it. I think it's a lot for Ole Miss. Now, the one thing I will say is I love what Golding did going into the second game with Georgia. In the first game at Georgia, being there, the defense was toast in the fourth quarter. That's why Georgia rolled them. But his studs up front, Daugherty, Eccles, Harris, and Perkins, those guys played 86, 75, 73, and 70 snaps. The other night in New Orleans, Daugherty only played 69, Eccles only played 60, Harris, the big D tackle, only played 52, and Perkins only played 50. They were flying around in the fourth quarter. They made it really tough on Gunnar Stockton. So I thought Golding immediately made adjustments, and which was a big step. It's the biggest game of his life. He's only been a head coach for 2 games. You can say what you want about the Tulane game, but he's confused Beck in the past meetings too. So Ole Miss is wary. I just think Ole Miss has to play with the lead. I think the first quarter is enormous for Ole Miss to jumpstart it and get this place going, knowing that Miami wants to hold on to the football.
Everything you said is spot on, especially I know we both agree. How about Fletcher? 25-30 to 1 to win MVP of the title game. I don't want to say looking ahead, but how much talk is there when you talk to Miami people about they could get a home game in the national title?
Oh, they know it. And you guys, you're old enough. We're all about the same age.
Yes.
Miami won all those national titles in the old Orange Bowl.
Yep, they did.
It just made, that was always a national championship. They got there, whether they were beating Nebraska or Oklahoma. They had the advantage there. Now, I think this is a monster step because they're not the underdog in this one. But there's a sense of togetherness. I really feel like Cristobal, and he's been much maligned, there's no doubt. But he loves this team because of how they're built, and that's on the line of scrimmage. Him being an offensive lineman, him being a former offensive line coach for Saban and all that, what he did at Oregon, he really likes this team. They're comfortable. But I've heard styles of fights thrown around. Ole Miss is Floyd Mayweather, and Miami's just going to stay in the middle like Mike Tyson. But at some point, the flyweight has to attack. Now, how do they get attacked? Do they go over the top and try and throw deep shots, or they try and run the football with Lacey? I think they're going to have a tough time running the football. But with all the side-to-side stuff and then the downhill and then the quarterback run, Charlie Weiss is going to have plenty of options. It's just a matter of how they go about it. But Miami's not afraid of anything, especially the way they hit Ohio State in the secondary. I can bet you that defense is licking their chops to get a couple early licks on this Ole Miss team.
Yeah, well said. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Stanford Steve, on the Progressive Guest Line. Small nitpick here. Maybe there's a way in the future to have these bowl games be floaters, where they're going to play them, because I think it would make more sense to have Miami and Ole Miss in Atlanta, and then Indiana and Oregon playing in Phoenix. That way, it's also easier. You're asking these fan bases to travel 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It's like, hey, it's a lot of money. How about you keep it a little bit closer to where we're located? Anyway, I like Indiana.
Well, the thing there, Mitch, though, is it's geography based. So Indiana, as long as they hang around, they're going to the closest site. So Atlanta is closer.
Oh,
they take precedent.
Oh, they do. Okay.
But I get you. I see this going. I see this going to 16. We talked about it. You know, that way there's no buys. Everybody gets rid of the buys because there will last success, even though most of those teams were underdogs. But you know, you get 2 home games, and then everything's good. But the best thing about this whole playoff is the fresh meat we have in it. Yes. You know, new faces. These fan base don't care. They're going for it all. Every team has their own great story. I feel like Oregon is not even being close to talked about enough when you talk about the teams left. So that's a wary spot for Indiana.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Now, I'll ask you this, though. They were pounded the first time at home. Like, how many teams can go to Autzen and do what Indiana did in the regular season? Not many. And that was a brilliant performance. The game was never really that close. What adjustments can or will the Ducks make in order to make it more competitive this time around?
Well, it's up against Oregon because I got a chance to talk. I've known Brian Haynes, the defense coordinator for Indiana, a while now. And talking to him before the Rose Bowl on the field, you know, without Daly, he was their stud. Like, he created mismatches up front. He lived in the other team's backfield. He had a great game against Oregon. And, you know, knowing that they had an advantage against Alabama, which their offensive line is their weakness, he felt good about the matchup. He just didn't know how he was going to go about it, knowing he didn't have Daly. But they're number 1 in the country in turnovers, and that sets the precedent. They don't make mistakes. And I'll tell you one thing again, I think it's 5 times in 2 years I've seen Indiana. Their skill guys are way better than people give them credit for. Like, Surratt's probably not going to throw or run a great 40 time at the combine, but he catches everything, contested catches. Cooper's a mismatch nightmare. And then this guy Becker comes in when Surratt got hurt at Penn State and makes the great catch before Cooper makes the unbelievable catch. So Indiana just doesn't make mistakes, and they're super physical. So I feel like Oregon has to tighten it up on the offensive line. We've seen Dante Moore now with all his toys back on offense. He could throw it. But the problem was in the first game, Indiana lived in the backfield and forced them into bad decisions. So Oregon has to be better on the offensive line, and they got diced up against Texas Tech.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite number right now on the board for the wild card games?
I like the Patriots. I just feel like with the way they've been able to somehow play this underdog as being the favorite and playing the worst schedule since '99, I look at them as being formidable. I really think the Chargers are banged up when you look at it. They tried resting guys. The defense is solid. But I think McDaniels, I mean, people want to talk about what he was as a head coach. That guy is a wizard offensively. And with Diggs, you know, as a guy now who he just creates separation. And the 2 running backs and how they use that, like throwing the ball to Stevenson last week, like no one had that. So I think New England's a lot tougher than people are giving them credit for. I don't think anyone is going to take Pittsburgh. So I could see myself taking Pittsburgh as a home dog. I think everybody is falling in love with the Texans because of that defense.
Yeah. You know, when I was a young kid, I always thought that Hugh Hefner had the best life imaginable. I think you're number 2 on the list now, right behind him.
Get that.
For different reasons, obviously, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
different.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Enjoy the game, pal, or games. Thank you. We appreciate it. Love talking to you.
I appreciate you guys. Hopefully we catch up soon and break some bread together, man. It'll be awesome.
Doubt. Get to Vegas, we'll do that. There you go. Stanford Steve live, Glendale at the stadium for the game tomorrow night between Miami and Ole Miss. Up next, win-lose. And another fantasy football punishment has gone viral. I love the creativity and the imagination. Wait until you hear what the loser had to do.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Well, this is a bit of a surprise. I don't agree with it. Todd Bowles is back in Tampa. They are keeping him. What happened? Boy, oh boy. Okay, with all the people that are out there? All right. Big gulps, huh? Wizards plus 250 on the money line. And now Trae Young says that's my preferred destination.
He wants to go and play for the Wizards.
Yeah. Was this on air or off air, what I said yesterday about him? What a GM said. Do you remember?
In any event. Yeah, go ahead.
A GM said his teammates can't stand him. He doesn't rebound and won't play defense.
Sounds like a guy that a team should trade for, right?
Yeah. So it's like you can't call him an asset. What are you going to give up for him?
Yeah. By the way, the Hardwood Handicappers podcast here on VSiN, available wherever you get your podcast. Zachary Cohen handles it. Did it with Kelly Bidlin yesterday. They kicked around this game. Kelly was all over the Wizards. Plus 7.5. Never a sweat.
That's right. Grizzlies 2-1 on the money line as well. San Diego State, Nevada under 147 down to 141. 73-68. South Carolina. Go Cox plus 270 on the money line. UMass, Ohio over 154 up to 161.5. Ice cream. How about what happened in hockey last night? Home teams went 9-1, and they all covered the puck line. And the only home team that lost was Winnipeg, and they blew a 2-goal lead against the Knights. Overs were 8-2. There also were 2 hat tricks. There's been a hat trick every day in 2026.
Oh, is that right?
How about that?
Well,
that's a good prop.
Does a book offer that? Will there be a hat trick today by anybody?
Look. I think that's a great prop that should be offered, and especially what's going on here of late.
Well, last night was also completely bonkers in college basketball.
Yes.
With, the Michigan game, almost losing to Penn State.
Playing 24, yeah.
Yeah, right? Duke getting killed in the first half,
right.
Coming back and covering everything against Louisville.
Auburn game, Texas Tech
Nuts.
finish.
Yep.
You're right. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. I got good stuff up there, and you guys are phenomenal, sending them in every day. How about this one? I like this. They leave. It's after the holidays. They let the Bulldogs have the Amazon boxes. They play with them. They stack them up. Timber! They come in there. They bite them. They play with them. They go through stuff. I mean, who knows, right? You never know what these dogs are going to like for toys.
Sure.
Look at a big fella chewing on the boxes.
Flying around, jumping up and down around there.
Yeah, right. Good looking pups. That's excellent. And this one's good, too. The dog playing in the dog park. In the play park. Open it up. Let him go. Another good looking dog. Awesome. Built like an ice cube. Open it. Come in. And then there he goes. Runs right in. Goes to his up on the jungle gyms, whatever. Always has his favorite stuff. What's he on there? What is that?
Is that a new version? I don't know. I've never seen that before.
Is that a seesaw? Wow, yeah. We're going back to the 80s here. Stranger Things.
An odd-shaped seesaw.
That's right, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Look at him. He goes, does it himself. Excellent. These guys are so smart. That's awesome. Good job. And how about this? In an incredible night in hockey, the New Jersey Devils were favored. And they lost to the Islanders 9-0. Shots on goal, 44-24, Devils. And every goal was even strength for the Islanders.
I didn't hear that part.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know the one goalie had 44 saves. The other guy allowed, the other team allowed 9 goals on 24 shots.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Not at one power play, nothing. 9-0 Islanders. And they were underdogs.
Did that set some sort of a record for most goals ever?
I would think so. I would think. I couldn't believe it. Cincinnati plus 2.5 to minus 1.5, no good. And a bad beat also in hockey. Columbus, San Jose under 6.5. 4 goals in the last 4 minutes. Before the line moves, sharp play's already there. January isn't about volume, it's about precision. You heard Stanford Steve. Let's get nuts. Thursday, playoff game. Friday, playoff game. Saturday, 2 playoff games. Sunday, triple header. Monday night, playoff game. Then the divisional round. And then the championship in college Monday. Advanced AI, the plays are up 50 units. Great sources, locked in on the playoffs. Sharp plays identify where the sharp money hits before the number disappears. You get free reports, alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X-Feed. You know Jeff and the crew are phenomenal. He's been on the show many times. He's been at it since 2011 and with Follow the Money since day one. Give him a follow. Trusted by pros, monitored by the books. You need the Sharp Plays and visit sharpplays.com.
All right, so you, I think, are fascinated by these fantasy football punishments as much as anybody I've ever met.
You were out Christmas Eve. We kicked this around with Charge. My favorites were, this might be the leader. You have to go perform stand-up comedy. They write the jokes for you, and you got to read them.
Oh, they write the jokes, too?
Yes. That one's good. The other one, you have to go to the bar when it opens and stay till it closes, rather. You take an hour off for every shot, half an hour for every beer.
Oh.
And you got to take the ACT or the SAT.
That one's becoming very popular.
That one's a good one, too. What do you have, my friend?
Well, first of all, the stand-up comedy bit, that actually has Joaquin Phoenix and Joker written all over it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, what a
Good.
gut-wrenching scene that is to watch. Okay, so this went viral. Guy's name is Gabe. Lost his fantasy league, and this is the punishment. The loser of the league must eat hot dogs for every meal until he matches Joey Chestnut's record.
Come on.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
So 71, I thought he had more than that, but anyway, 71 dogs will match the record. The clock starts when he eats his first dog, and his plan was to knock out this whole thing in 1 week. 10 dogs a day over 7 days. And now, I saw a photo of this. I couldn't tell if there was ketchup or mustard on the bun, but in the write-up that I saw, it mentioned that buns, meat, and water were the only way he could eat them, like Joey Chestnut.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That is a tough assignment.
That is really bad.
Isn't there something with McDonald's related?
Yeah. That's,
you have to stay in a McDonald's?
And then you get
time
for 24 hours, and then you get a certain amount of time docked for...
what you eat.
Yeah, if you eat a quarter pounder, that's probably a good hour or so. And then if you eat, small fries, that's some time, McNuggets, whatever the rules are, they come up with them on their own. How would you attack that if you lose the McDonald's one? Slow and steady? Be okay with sitting there for 12, 14 hours?
I don't know. I wouldn't agree to that. I would just
well, then you can't be in the league.
Give something else. Right? No, there should be something where you get to spin the wheel.
Well, let's assume that you agree to play in this league where you know the punishment.
Well, that's a tough. I know
ahead
of
time. I think I could I was thinking about this last night. At what point would I get sick of eating just hot dogs?
It's like your friend Rita Rutner, the comedian. Where I heard my friend was in labor for 24 hours. I don't want to do anything that feels good for 24 hours.
Yeah,
okay. But this goes back.
What a joke! Great line.
Oh, so good. Women are so funny. But this goes back to like what do you even want to eat? What do you like that you would still eat for every meal that long? Certainly not a hot dog.
I can't think of anything. I mean, my favorite food I crave pizza as much as any human being ever alive. I couldn't eat pizza for 10 straight meals, whatever. There's no way I could do that.
I could.
Pizza for a full week, nothing else. You can't have anything else with pizza.
Yeah, the longest I could go would probably be like a turkey sandwich, something like that.
Yeah, I could probably do a sandwich.
But
longer
2
than
weeks standing on my head, no problem.
And I love a good hot dog's amazing.
Why you ask me how I would attack it? I don't really have a choice, right? I just have to dunk and.
Well, I was talking more about the McDonald's thing.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But the hot dog thing, it was just, you would be feeling this bad boy 2 days in. Because you're gonna get hungry, so you have to have at least 5 or 6 hot dogs a day every day.
You are drawn dead with the McDonald's thing. I mean, everything they're gonna. I mean, come on, a quarter pounder, whatever, back it up with a fillet of fish, something. You're gonna be hurting.
Like, is there an option there to keep it as healthy as possible? There
you
really
can't go
isn't.
Shake will fill you up. You
course.
can't. No.
But a salad? You just want to? Do they have salads there at McDonald's?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Bill Burr line. It was over when McDonald's caved and started making a salad.
Okay.
I mean, the material. Hey, Mitch, what are you doing? Want to go get a salad?
Yeah, there you go. You can do snack wraps.
Snack wrap. They're small,
somewhat healthy.
Well, it depends on how much time they give off you, though, too.
But also, are you a patient? I know you're not. You're the most impatient person I've ever met.
No question.
Also, are you allowed to have a phone? Are you allowed to have a laptop? Probably not.
Yeah.
But then they have to probably document. Somebody's going to have to track you. Maybe you have a phone so they can track where you're at, actually, the location. I think I would take the McDonald's punishment over the hot dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's only a bun, the dog, and the water.
What the hell are you going to do? Well, that goes back to the phone. But if you're not allowed a phone, what are you going to do play on the toys? You're going to go on the one with the jungle gym?
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to urine. You ever urine, Pauly?
Yeah, read the paper. Yeah.
The paper?
I don't know. What are you going to do?
Readily available nowadays.
Well, if you don't give you the phone, I don't know.
You just got to sit there and take it.
Yeah. I saw there was something with Mike Greenberg. His wife tweeted out, hey, his final Sundays watching the Jets. He's got all the newspapers around. It's like, what? That was
old school.
That was everyone's takeaway. Yeah. It's like he's hanging out with Mad Dog.
All right, Sal Paolantonio next. 30 minutes today on the program. We'll ask him what he's hearing with all these coaching the coaching turnover and who he likes in Wild Card Weekend next here on VSiN.